I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji guys. This is a fun video. I guess that's why we're laughing, eh? This is the first look video for our brand new Instax Mini 8. The Instax cameras are so much fun. The brand new Instax camera, in fact, comes in fun colors. There's 5 different colors. The Instax Mini 7S, which was a very, very popular camera for the last 2 years, is now being replaced by this model, the Instax Mini 8S. Billy, we've made it a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
We're using a little bit less battery power now. We've made it more automated as far as exposure control. And it's easier to turn on and off. So those are some of the improvements that we've made. Billy, why don't you go around and just show us the controls first, and then we'll show them how to load film and tell them a few more things, okay?
Let's take a look at this brand new Instax Mini 8. Great colors, like I said, as Greg mentioned, you got this little pastel blue, pastel yellow, white. We also got a black and I believe the pink as well. So it comes in many fun colors, and of course we'll be selling this with a film with it. So it'll be a 20-pack film when you buy it from us. However, depending on the region you buy it just might be the camera alone. Yeah. This is again the replacement of the Instax Mini 7S. So there's some minor changes, but not a whole lot, and I'll show you that. First off, you notice that the camera is slightly thinner than the 7S, and by not that much, however, because it is film, and film is a certain size, and the lens is going to have to be a certain size, so you can't really miniaturize how we did, with the digital cameras, of course. But let's take a look at the front of this camera. You got, of course, the lens. It's a 60mm lens, and basically to turn the camera on, there's a button on the side here, and you push it, and it pops the lens open, and now the camera's ready to go. Of course, you need to have your batteries inside. It runs off AA batteries, so I'll show you where you can put that. But to turn it off, you can just push the lens back in. Beside it, you got your shutter release button, and you just push it down, and it basically instantly takes a photo by opening up the shutter and the aperture that's appropriate, and exposes it into the film on this camera. Above the shutter button, you got the viewfinder, and that's where you're going to see and frame your subject. You want to note, of course, that when you view through the optical viewfinder on this camera, it is slightly off axis from the lens. So if your subject is a little bit too close and you're trying to frame them in the center, the image is actually going to be captured right here. So there's going to be a slight parallax. So you need to be aware of that. And of course, as the subject is further away from you, then that obviously will be less and less parallax.
Yeah, it'll properly align after a certain point.
So just be aware of that when you're doing very close photos, that you realize the parallax between the viewfinder and the lens. Right beside it, of course, you got this honking flash, if you want to call it that. It's a nice big flash, and it's needed to really expose the scene. Beside that, you have this exposure metering system that the camera now can detect, the type of lighting that's in the room, and it will actually, if we take a look at this here, have LED lights that blink up to tell you what exposure settings you should be shooting on. And you got icons here that looks like a home, which is for indoors, cloudy day, sunny days, a very bright sunny day, and of course you also have this what's called high key. And high key basically is giving you sort of that nice washed out background so that it sort of glamorizes things. So if you think about low key and those dark pictures with just subject and shadow, high key is the opposite, which is very, very bright shots. And wedding shots are sometimes done that way as well.
Yeah, also it's good, it kind of, I think, we all think we have beautiful faces or whatever, but when you use high-key lighting, it kind of smooths out some of the blemishes and things like that you might have the face. Exactly, yeah. So it makes us all look a little bit more like a model.
So on the side of this camera, of course, you got this little loop here that attaches to the hand strap, so it does include that. On the opposite side of this camera, you got, again, the other side of the loop, so that if you wanted to have it so that it's a neck strap versus a hand strap or vice versa, you can choose. Okay. Below that, you got your battery cover, and the changes to this here, of course, is that it uses only 2 AA batteries versus the 4 AAs that were required on the Instax 7S. So that's how we sort of made the camera smaller as well in terms of dimension-wise. Okay. Looking now at the bottom of the camera, there's not much to see. It's just that. You can put it on the table and it will stand. Now, looking at the back of this camera, of course, you got your film door. and this is where you're gonna attach and insert your film packs in. It comes in a 10-pack, okay, and it's all preset. And what you'll see is that there's a little notch that you push down and it opens it up. But before you open up this lid, make sure that there's no film in this camera. And the way to do that is this little window. When you have a film pack installed, it will actually show up with a little yellow icon, which will say, obviously, don't open up this film. It's going to be exposed to light, and you're going to be ruining the film. Below that and to the right, you also have this film indicator. It tells you how much shots you have. So once you load in brand new film, it resets back to 10, and you go 9. And then the first shot you take is going to be a dummy cover. And then you got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then, of course, that's when you want to replace the film again and do that. So let's just open the back of this camera. As you can see there, that's where actually the film goes. And again, there's a little yellow icon here, and then when you take the film pack out, and Greg's going to
let's load a film for us right now. So when you buy it, it comes in a 2-pack like this. Each one is individually wrapped in foil, so I'll take one of those packs right now, and you'll open it up.
Yeah, and while Greg's doing that, I mean, you can take this definitely, a lot of people have concerns about film going through airport scanners and whatnot, and generally I say if you're really concerned about it, you should hand check it. However, most of the times when we've gone through the airport, there's really been no issues with it, because it really has to be a super high power X-ray to really damage this film. So again, you got the film pack, you got a little yellow tab, and you got the little yellow tab on the back of this camera. You want to line that up, and it just goes in, and then you close it down. And basically, when you turn the camera on, it's going to obviously reset this. And of course, you want to put in AA batteries to do that, and I don't have that here. But I do apparently have one that's working.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So this one already has batteries and film in it. So as Billy said, when you shoot the first frame, what comes out is it's known as a dark slide, and that's basically to protect the rest of the film from light when you open the package. After that, however, each time you press this button, it will eject one piece of film. And as you can see right now, there's no exposure on this film yet because it takes time, and it processes before your very eyes. So basically, it takes about 2 minutes before you see most of the color.
Yep.
You see about 90% of how good the picture is going to be after about 2 minutes. And then if you give it the full 5 minutes, that extra 3 minutes, it'll bring in that last 10% of color saturation and proper exposure and everything. But you can see this picture that I just took of Billy starting to come in right now. In about 2 minutes, it's going to be 90% perfect. And then after 5 minutes, you'll have the final version like we see in these images here.
So that's just a quick look at the film, the nice little credit card size. If you do want the larger film, we do also continue to offer the Instax 210 camera, which has obviously the larger film. One last thing I just wanted to point out, and I couldn't show you earlier, but I talked about the exposure controls, how the front of the camera has a little sensor, and depending on the different lighting, that LED is going to adjust to what settings, and it kind of tells you what you should set it up to. And in this instance here, it says I'm indoors because the lighting's not that great, so I want to set it to that. But if I adjust that, as you can see right there, it will change basically the aperture on the camera, and so that it can either let more light in or let less light in and give you proper exposure with this camera.
So just match up the dot with the light that comes on in the exposure system.
Very simple.
So, yeah, and if you're watching this video, chances are you might know a friend that has one of these cameras or whatever. I mentioned the word fun a few times there before, but really, for the younger crowd, it's a very, very fun thing to use at parties, to share images instantly with people. It's actually older technology, but it really seems like something new because it's something that your smartphone can't do, your computer, your tablet can't do this. Producing an actual print that you can pass around to your friends, you can stick it on your school locker, you can write on them with Sharpie pencils.
That's right.
And messages and things like that.
I mean, the film even has spots where you can actually write that down, so it's perfect.
So they're a lot of fun. I'm sure that you've already seen one of these and you're dying to get one yourself. So check out all our other videos on our YouTube channel by subscribing to the Fuji Guys YouTube channel, or follow Billy on Twitter And if you want to have any questions answered by the Fuji guys, you can contact us those ways. Until the next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji guys.